Hi, Kerry. I just have a question. I saw online today that Ashley Bloomfield has come out saying that the government is thinking of moving to level 2.5 for the next 3 to 5 years, so our border can open to vaccinated people.
No.
No, that's the Prime Minister, not me. This is the Prime Minister saying flat no.
No, okay, because it says online that we would be moving to group gatherings of 10, and I'm like, that's a bit of a kick in the gut for us who have worked so hard for our freedoms, and now there's news articles saying we're moving to groups of 10, and I was like, what?
No.
Oh, look, thank you. Can I first say thank you for asking the question? It gives me a chance to clarify. So Dr. Bloomfield was in a panel yesterday. We're just talking, he was talking about the transition when we move to a phase of, at the moment, our borders are our barricade. So we've protected ourselves by building a wall against COVID, and that's because we don't have any individual armour. The vaccine gives us that individual armour. What he was talking about was, as we transition away then and start opening up our borders, and if we're in a position where, we're bringing in that a bit more risk, what do we do to just create a few extra buffers for us? Because in the same way that in New Zealand, even though we have immunisation for things like measles, we do still have small outbreaks from time to time, and we've got to make sure that we continue to contain those. So he was referencing what will some of the measures be in that transition period. When I spoke to him, he said, he was referencing more a 1.5 environment, just keeping up things like QR code scanning, the things that we need to be aware of day to day in that transition period while we manage removing the border as the barricade. So, here, a lot of it's going to come down to how many people we are vaccinated. The more people we are vaccinated, the more freedom we can have, the more safety we have. So that would be my message. But there's no suggestion here that for 3 to 5 years, New Zealand will be in a constant level 2.5 environment.
That would be unsustainable. Yeah. Harry has a question on vaccination. Hi, Harry.
Hi, good morning, Madam Prime Minister. What would it take for fully vaccinated folks to travel to New Zealand without quarantine, given the new CDC guidelines today?
Yeah, great question. So, here, of course, some of those issues around vaccine passports become less of an issue if we ourselves are protected and vaccinated. So that's why that goal to the end of year of getting everyone vaccinated is so key. But people have rightly said, look, in the meantime, could we have a situation where if you're vaccinated overseas, you could come into New Zealand without going into quarantine? The answer I'd give is possibly. At the moment, it's too early. We have some data that tells us that actually if you're a vaccinated person, the likelihood of you picking up COVID or at least being symptomatic is really low. However, no vaccine is fail-safe, and there's never been an expectation it would be. We, for instance, in New Zealand, and if there's going to be an exception, we tend to demonstrate it, we have had a vaccinated person who had COVID, weren't particularly symptomatic, didn't become unwell, didn't pass it on to anyone else. So those are all the things we want the vaccine to do, but it does demonstrate that having a vaccine does not mean that you don't present risk. So keeping an open mind, we're really involved with the international community's work on vaccine passports because I think it is a useful piece of work, but too early to say whether or not that will be a way of not having quarantine in the future.
There was also a report that we're going to run out of vaccines by July.
So what we've said is all the way through this, of course, people have often said to us, why don't you speed up the rollout? It's quite simply, we're phasing our rollout with the amount of supply that we have, and drug companies everywhere around the world are delivering instalments of vaccine, and countries are delivering as they receive, and New Zealand's no different. So we're working to July is when we start getting the big orders brought in. Until then, we've been staggering our phase out and ramping up as the supply comes in. We've tried to do it in a way that means we don't have people sitting idly by. So we phased it so that, yes, we're really getting going now, but there is a small risk that in between June and July, because we're ramping up quite quickly, between deliveries we may have stock issues, but by July, that's when the big orders come in. So if it happens, we don't expect it to be long.
Do you have faith in the Ministry of Health to deliver? Because although Ashley Bloomfield was a rock star for you throughout COVID, the ministry itself was dysfunctional.
Oh, look,
and there were huge problems.
I do want to defend here the people that we have working
I'm
across.
sure they mean well, but the systems are...
It is...
There was no PPE gear.
Oh, well, there was PPE gear, but the distribution was problematic. And here is where I would say this is another reason why our system isn't designed to respond to issues like this because it is so decentralised, working across multiple DHBs. And this is no one's fault. It's what the system we all have. But it is another reason I feel so strongly about the health reforms. But what I would say is that actually at no time in New Zealand's history have we tried to do this. So that's why we're drawing on not just the experience of the health sector, but those who work in logistics in the private sector. You know, we're talking to everyone from Mainfreight to Fonterra to say, let's just make sure we use the best possible advice and information to build an inventory system, a booking system.
But that was what the Ministry of Health was so dead against, that bunker mentality they were criticised for, not even letting some ministers know.
Well, actually, I've really, in terms of bringing in others, I do want to say that I think that they really have tried to draw on that expertise.
After the critical report?
Well, no, I'm just talking about in terms of the immunisation rollout. And so, again, though, we've also been open because no one has done this before. In fact, globally, had an immunisation campaign of the scale and the speed, we will hit bumps. There may be periods where people see queues. There may be periods with our new booking system where...
all the way through, and I understand that it was unprecedented.
Yeah.
But at the same time, things could have been done a lot better by the Ministry of Health, just with a more open communication.
And again, I would say, buck stops with us. I don't want us to be in a position where we're blaming others. Buck stops with us. It's always been our job to make sure where there are issues, we try and resolve it. We do have, this ongoing work, a constant improvement group that we just bounce ideas off, have them look, because we're so often moving to the next thing. We do have a group that helps us look back and say, what could we have done better from that last experience? But again, I think New Zealand should just always remember, as a team, we have done incredibly well. It hasn't always been perfect, but it has been, relative to others, an incredible effort.
Michael, good morning.
Yeah, hi, Jacinda. I'm a recruiter. I own a recruitment agency, and recently been trying to hire temps for a very good client of mine who actually runs a training organisation trying to get more young people involved in training. We hired 12 temps over a 3-week period, and 9 of them either didn't turn up on the first day or just didn't turn up and turned their cell phones off not to take calls after the second or third day. And I'm just wondering whether this is a result of the fact that there's plenty of money to be earned by sitting at home these days, because it seems that these people simply don't want to work, and it's a real problem for employers.
Well, the first thing that I would say to that is that, through the ages, you'll have times where people lament whether or not the next generation has the work ethic of the last. And in defence of our next generation, I see incredible young people, particularly through this response, who have really tried to support one another, innovate, worked hard, sought opportunities. There always is a group where we have to continue to make sure that we're providing them with the skills and meeting the expectation of employers. We've tried to design some of our employment programs around that and acknowledge that actually not every employer is in a position to provide that mentoring and support for someone who might be going into the workplace for the first time. Mana and Mahi, He Poutama Rangatahi, these are programs where we say, actually, we are going to take on a role to help mentor and support so that employers aren't carrying that burden. We're also subsidising employers to give people a chance. And there will sometimes be someone who's in the workplace for the first time who won't have some of those skills that we would expect. Let's work with them. Let's support them. Let's support the employer.
A couple of texters have said, given that you're travelling soon with the trade delegation, have you had your vaccination already?
Oh, not yet, but I will be doing that soon. And so one of the things I've waited for, because our first rollout has been amongst those who either are at risk or work in high-risk environments, New Zealanders are a little mindful of queue jumpers. And so for me, it's been about getting the balance right between not doing that, but also demonstrating my confidence in the vaccine. And so I'll be looking to do that very shortly. I always said I'd do it at the beginning of some of our general rollout. And we're expecting our over 65s to start this month across the board.
If you were travelling, though, you'd want that extra security, wouldn't you?
Yes. So, but look, at the moment, my first cab off the rank will be Australia. And I've said that I'll be doing that in the beginning of July. Obviously, no one requires vaccine, and there's there's very low risk there for that movement, so that's not contingent for me. But that'll be a big step, leading a trade delegation into Australia and really kicking things off there. Our trade minister will be travelling in July. He'll be going into the UK and the EU because we've got critical trade negotiations there. He will be vaccinated, and he will also go into managed isolation.